Club. Basically, what's going to happen this evening, we've got lots of teams out there. Everybody hold up those numbers if you're playing. Hold up your numbers. Perfect. We're going to give you a set of words. We're going to start off with one. We're going to give you 3 different definitions, and you're going to have to tell us which person is telling the truth. But in order to play this game, we do have one lovely scorekeeper up here. Please welcome to the stage, Andrea. You can come on stage. Now you have to go back to your chair. All right, we're going to bring up our panel members. First off, drinking the Apple Martini from the Martini Bar. Ladies and gentlemen, he's your musical director in charge of all the musicians throughout the ship. Please welcome to the stage. It's his birthday tomorrow, Mr. Ian Brock. I think we've paid for the Martini for him.
Y'all ready for this?
It got here in time. Good news. All right, panelist number 2. This is his home, late night comedy, almost every evening right here on Solstice. He's our comedian this week. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Lewis Johnson. Rum and Coke, bar staff. Rum and Coke. All right. And finally, our third panelist. Well, he used to be a literary professor at the University of British Columbia. And tonight he... Hold on. Yeah, that's what... Okay, sorry. He once met a literary professor from the University of British Columbia. Ladies and gentlemen, he's your cruise director. Please welcome Drew Pavlos. All right, here we go. You can come on in if you're at the door. There's little standing room around the back. We can grab some more teams. You can join in. All right, so we have many teams up there. You've got your numbers. As I said, we're going to go through a few different words tonight. I'm going to put one word up on the screen, and you're going to hear the 3 definitions from our panelists. Before we tell you who's telling the truth, you're going to have to decide by holding up your number who you think is telling the truth. So make sure you listen carefully. Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers. I've got Gatorade. Yes, that's what happens when you're the activity manager. All right. So first of all, the fabulous prizes that we are playing for this evening, very, very important. I know you all came here for celebrity prizes, but we've got something a little bit different for you. Third place this evening, we'll be taking home a week's supply of rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. Yeah, that's a good one. Second place, I know you're excited now. Second place wins a $300 gift certificate to Al's Veterinary and Taxidermy Service. That's in Fort Lauderdale. Al's motto is either way, you get your dog back. And finally, our grand prize winning team this evening will take home a 1974 Winnebago motorhome featuring 5 channels, CB radio, a 17-inch black and white television, they still have those, and an 8-track sound system. Yeah, you can drive that home back to the snow. All right, so those are the fabulous prizes we're playing for. You know how important it is. Here we go. Let's get things underway. So as I said, I'm going to throw a word there up on the screen. You just have to decide what the definition is. Here we go. You ready, gentlemen? First word, they're conferring. First word tonight. We tried to get as many letters as possible on one screen. The word is, I can't promise you that the pronunciation is correct on this one, but the word is arachibutyrophobia. Arachibutyrophobia. Who's going first? Ian, bandmaster. Ian, do you know what this word means?
Why am I going first? Because I'm the youngest, that's why, isn't it?
Yeah, it's your birthday tomorrow, you win.
That's right. I got no idea. Does anyone know what this word means? Do? Oh, wow. better be careful here then. All right, okay. Well, arachibutyrophobia, yes. Well, that is a... I don't know whether anyone's ever done any auditioning in here. Have you? No, probably. Okay. All right. Well, you have. All right. Okay. Well, I know people who have got this arachibutyrophobia, and it's a fear. I mean, a phobia. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, a phobia is a fear, of course, and arachibutyrophobia is a fear of auditioning. An example of which, I mean, I've done a lot of auditions in my time, and I've auditioned with some very strange people as well. And there was this one guy one time who was auditioning, and he went up and he had this really strange act that he was trying to get going, you know. And he went up to the auditioner and said, you know, I've got this show that he says, well, what do you do? He says, well, what I do is I eat hammers. He says, I do that for about 45 minutes. I stand on the stage and I've got all these different size hammers, big ones, little ones, you know, really heavy ones, light ones, and I eat them. He says, well, how long have you been doing that? He says, I've been doing it about 14 years now. He said, are you professional? He says, no, I'm amateur. Amateur. Terrible, isn't it? You see, I start off with a crazy one, and then we get funny. But there we go. So arachibutyrophobia is the fear of auditioning. Thank you.
From the bandmaster himself, a fear of auditioning. All right, Lewis, definition number 2.
Okay, if I was joking, I would say that arachibutyrophobia is fear of being sexually molested by spiders. Very big spiders. But since I'm not joking, this is actually my youngest brother has this. We used to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich eating contest, and one time there was so much peanut butter in the sandwich that he was eating that he almost choked on it. And from then on, he's had a fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of his mouth, which is what, you know, this word stands for. It stands for fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
All right. And Drew, you have something better for us.
What a crock of crap that was. No, all right, listen, let me help you out. I actually know what this word means, and if you want to understand, and this can be a long, intimidating word. Don't even look at the screen. Don't even look. Arachibutyrophobia. You want to understand a long word? Break it down. Phobia, as we all know, is a fear of something. As my two mostly esteemed colleagues have already tried to convince you, but is a fear of something. That much is true. Arachibutyrophobia. Arachibutyrophobia. Think about that. Arachibutyrophobia is clearly the fear of a beautiful Iraqi woman. No, I'm serious.
Especially these days.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I was, quite a few years ago, back in my single days, I actually dated an Iraqi woman. Yeah, she had a really Sunni disposition in the evening, but she used to treat me like Shiite in the morning, so I don't know what happened.
Their relationship just bombed.
That's why you're the comedian. Lewis Johnson, you're my hero. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking, of course. That's not what it means. I do know what it means. I'm going to tell you a story. I have a pet at home, a cat. His name is Eric. And I have this pet cat named Eric. And he's a great cat, but he's a very strange cat. For a long time, he would only stay in like my living room, and he wouldn't go down wouldn't go through any doorways. My house is a very kind of like Mediterranean-inspired design. A lot of, instead of doorways, I prefer like, you know, sort of open rooms and rounded archways. And it turns out, after I took him into the psycho-veterinarian, he told me that it was. You guys never heard of that? That might be a future word. Anyway. I took him to the psycho-vet, and he said, now it was very clear Eric was suffering from arachibutyrophobia, which is a fear of walking under an arch. So I had to go to tremendous expense, because I love my pets, and I had the contractors come in and square off all the doorways, and now Eric's fine. He can walk all over the house. He purrs all the time. He's very happy. But anyway, that's what it is, fear of walking under an arch, rounded archway.
All right, there you have it. We have 3 definitions. Gentlemen, can you give me a short little, let's go over them one more time, all right, so you can confer with your teams. Let's start with Ian. Ian, your definition? Did you forget?
I forgot. What was it? It was auditioning. Fear of auditioning.
Fear.
Yeah.
You just lost every vote.
The look on your face was priceless. You're like, oh, you're back to me?
It is the truth, you know.
Okay, yeah. Mine's is the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
Fear of peanut butter, all right? And Drew?
Fear of walking under an archway around.
Think about Iraqi woman. We got past that.
I was just kidding. I was just kidding. Although you can vote for me if you think that was funny.
All right, here we go. So here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna tell you the definition. If you think that definition is true, you're gonna hold up your number. Wait for me to call it out. Once you hear me call it out, just pull it down. I'm gonna call out the numbers for Andrea. She's gonna be the official scorekeeper over here in the corner. All right, so Ian, with a fear of auditioning, Iraqi bootyrophobia, I can't say it, whatever it says on that screen. A fear of auditioning, anybody? 16, 3, 26, 14,
Seriously?
26, 28, 22, 27. And someone waving in the back with a hand. 28, 22, 17, 20.
We'll call him that guy.
Did I do it? And that guy at the
That
back.
guy. That guy votes for you.
Okay.
For that guy. Your team.
All right, there we had number one. All right, definition number 2, fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Number 1, number 19. Lewis, you don't have many fans. Number 4, number 10, 13, 18.
That's so cold.
18, you voted twice.
They
Look, this is not how the game works, all right?
They definitely don't
You
have a
have to
fear
go
of
with your
voting.
first answer. You are out. Okay. All right, and definition number 3, a fear of archways. 23, 30, 29, 25, 2, 15, 12, 21. I feel like an art auctioneer right now. 5, 11, 8, 9, 7. Anybody else? Did everybody vote? All right, I think if you didn't vote, you can't win prize. You can't win the prize.
Who's pretty sure we're all lying?
All right, Iraqi bootyrophobia with the person who is telling the truth. Please stand up. We had music for that. Iraqi bootyrophobia, the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
That's called the truth dance. That's what that is. That's the truth dance.
The truth dance.
Truth boogie.
All right. If your team got it correct, throw your hands in the air and scream. That guy, did you get it? That guy in the back? No, okay, good. Okay, here we go. All right, that was word number 1. Moving right along. How you doing, scorekeeper? A doodle. Okay, good. What's the cat's name? Eric. Yes. Word number 2. Where do you get these? Fur.
I looked all of these up on the internet, so you know it's true.
You know it's true, yes. All right, the word is fur, gentlemen, and I believe we're going to start with Lewis.
Okay, fur. If I was joking, I would say this is how Mike Tyson tells you he has a cold. Yeah. I have a fur of 103. I'm burning up. But actually, fur is the V-shaped bone that is formed between 2 fused collarbones that you find on the breast of a bird. You know, when they fly, it's the collarbones that fuse together. That's the fur. Whatever.
Drew, I think that leads into you.
I just want to take a moment to digest what I've just heard.
You don't have a fur. You're not a bird.
Thank you. No, I don't have it. I'll tell you what fur means, though. And it actually is interesting enough. It relates to a pet that I have. I have a dog named Eric. And he is a great dog. He's so much fun. He's a really interesting dog. How many dog lovers are out there? Isn't true? Your dogs have personalities. Am I right? Check this out. Eric has he actually, well, I wouldn't say suffers, but he has a condition that normally exists only in humans and other species that can read, which is that he actually has dyslexia. Eric is a dyslexic dog. And he loves to chase squirrels. He sees squirrels, he goes crazy. Somebody getting ahead of me. But see, this is what happens. When he sees a squirrel and he starts barking, a normal dog is like, ruff, 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 right? But because of the dyslexia problem, it sort of comes out. So he doesn't go to the dog park because it's embarrassing for him. But anyway.
Come on. Star code. Deck 9, Fire Zone 5, Cabin 9211, Port side. Star code, star code, star code. Deck 9, Fire Zone 5, Cabin 9211, Port side.
And watch everybody go running over there to see what's going on.
That definitely does not mean there's a hole in the ship. Do not worry. This happens all the time.
It means somebody is doing electric slide in the room who shouldn't.
Anyway,
Back to the dog.
to the dog. I took it. Now, of course, that's how he sounds when he barks, but that's not the definition. That's just I'm reminded of it. But I took him for a walk in Stanley Park, downtown Vancouver. Beautiful park, a very popular spot for weddings. It was a beautiful sunny afternoon. It was a Saturday, and I saw clearly a beautiful young woman. She just got married. She was wearing her bridal gown still. The bridesmaids were with her, and the photographer was doing photographs. Anyway, normally I keep Eric on a leash, but in the park, it's there's not a lot of traffic, and it's pretty safe, and I'd let him off. Anyway, caught the scent of a squirrel, took off. Went running straight towards the bride. The bridesmaids scared the bejesus out of the bride, knocked two of the bridesmaids over, took off after the squirrel, and generally just caused a tremendous fur.
Really? You going with that?
it?
You really going with that?
That's what it means.
Okay.
It means
Was I unclear? I'm sorry. It's like a ruckus, a hullabaloo, a kerfuffle, if you will.
You gotta say that real slow. A kerfuffle. You gotta say. It's a family show.
all right. And definition number 3, Ian, you're up. I keep catching you by surprise there.
Yeah. Okay, has anyone ever heard of a guy called Prince Charles, by any chance? Yeah, the famous horse rider. Anyway, so Prince Charles goes over to a little island called Aruba. Has anyone been there? Yeah. Aruba, beautiful place. Anyway, so he goes over there to open a little hospice for children. Because he does a lot of that sort of work. So he flies over there from London, and off he goes. It's a good one, this. And anyway, so off he goes over to Aruba. But he gets there and he gets off the plane and he's met by the mayor of Aruba at the bottom of the plane. And the mayor's and he's got this big fur hat on, made out of fox's fur. And it's got the tail coming down the back and everything, And it's about 100 degrees in Aruba at that time of the year that he goes. So he's sweating, he's all red-faced and everything, a little uneasy on his feet, probably just about to faint. And anyway, so the mayor of Aruba says to him, Mr. Charles, he says, you seem very, very hot, and you've got this big thick hat on. He said, would you feel free to take the hat off? He says, well, he says, I spoke to my father, and my father said to wear the hat. He says, well, if you take the hat off, maybe you'd cool down a bit, and you might get a little easier on your feet. He says, no, but my father said I have to wear the hat. He says, well, what did your father say exactly? He said, well, I said to my father, he said,
Sort of lost the accent.
I said to my father, Father, I'm going to Aruba over the weekend. And Father said, wear the fox hat. That's about as rude as I get, that is.
Oh, it'll get ruder.
Well, at 10:50. Anyway, and what was the word again?
Fur
Where's she gone? Oh, there you are, right.
Yeah, I'm a movie.
You're camouflaged against that blue pole.
Yes, I'm trying not to.
Anyway, Furfur.
The Argyle
Right,
pole.
Furfur is actually Furfur. Now, the reason he was wearing the furry hat, right, the real reason was because he had kind of flaky skin and that on his scalp and a bit of dandruff going on. So that stopped the dandruff from spilling down to his shoulders, you see. So Furfur is actually dandruff. There you go, it's true.
Looks very honest. All right, there we have it. 3 definitions. We very quickly, without the fox hat. Okay. Very quickly, the definitions were starting with Lewis.
It is the V-shaped bone of a bird.
Drew.
The V-shaped bone of a bird. No. It's the it's a ruckus, a hullabaloo,
A ruckus.
a kerfuffle.
And Ian.
Dandruff.
Dandruff. There you have it. All right, confirm with your teams. You got a couple seconds. 1, 2, or 3. You got your answers. Here we go. Who's voting for Lewis? V-shaped bone of a bird. Hold up those numbers. Number 7, 25. Lewis, the V-shaped bone of a bird.
She was like, who? Okay, forget it.
All right, that's it for 2. All right.
There will be no truth dance.
Drew, number 2, a ruckus or a hullabaloo. 24, 19, 26, 18, 2, 17, 16, 1, 20, 15, 14, 4, 12. I have a new career. I still have a new career.
Okay, wait. Who voted for Lewis or for Ian?
Nobody voted for me. So just give all the other ones to Drew.
We're on Drew. We
and
did
Ian.
1, 2, and
Everybody except the 2 that voted for Ian, so...
Hang on, I've
2
got
that
more than 2.
He didn't.
I've not been done yet.
He hasn't gone yet.
You're gonna get his.
This is why the scorekeeper doesn't get a microphone. Okay, so 20, 15, 5, 14, 12, 11, 13, 6, 8, 28, 9, 22. Are you on that guy's team? Yeah, that guy. Any more? Any more? You're done. All right. And number 3 was Ian with dandruff.
Yeah. Can you put that
27.
another way, please? Ian with dandruff? What?
It's a common problem. It's okay. 27, 10, 21, 3, 30, 23, 29. And another random hand. Speaking for the people by the door. All right. Anybody else? Everybody voted. All right, here we go. With the person who is telling the truth, please stand up. There you have it. Fur, itchy, flaky skin, especially on the scalp. Dandruff. Any teams out there? 2 for 2. Ooh, we got a couple of you. All right. Are we up for another word? You want another word? All right, here we go. Word number 3. I thought this was a family show.
Look at the crowd making up their own jokes right now. You guys ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I don't want to say it. The word...
I just want to hear you say this word. Say it slow.
The word is... penetralia.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby.
Thank you. Penetralia, all right. Leading us off, the one and only Drew.
Right. All right, so penetralia. I got an interesting story about penetralia, actually. No, I have an interesting story about penetralia, and it has. I actually have a few pets at home, and I have a pet ferret. His name happens to be Eric, and it makes it so much easier, you know, that way. Anyway, Eric, I didn't realize this about. Do we have any ferret owners in the room? Good. Okay. So anyway. Ferrets tend to be a lot more skittish than I realized when I first bought him, because I didn't, you know, when I take Eric and Eric out for a walk, Eric doesn't want to come along, and and I'll tell you why, because I live in a pretty busy neighborhood. There's a lot of traffic, and Eric he's terrified of noise. He doesn't understand, you know, the cars screeching, brakes on, and honking, and people talk. He gets really scared with noise. And I, for a long time, actually lived right downtown, and it was a problem because I couldn't take Eric anywhere. In fact, he was so scared that what he would do is he couldn't even be in a room that like had a window to the outside world. He like searched for the furthest point into the house that he possibly could find, and so that's where he was staying. You couldn't get him out of there because he was so terrified of the outside world. And that area is known as the penetralia, because the sounds cannot penetrate into the middle room of the house. And he would leave a trail when he went there into the middle of the house, where the sound cannot penetrate his trail to the house.
So, your definition is?
The innermost part of a building, or a house, or like this. This is kind of like a penetralia of the ship.
Okay. Wait, men's conference on the stage. All right. Number 2.
I'm sticking with that.
Okay. Ian, I think it's you because Lewis is laughing uncontrollably right now.
In fact, I've got to tell you, I do agree with Drew. I agree with you. Lewis, have you got one for us? You go next, Lewis. There we go.
Okay, well, if I was joking, I'd say that penetralia is the sounds you hear late at night when you drive by a prison and the new inmates are being welcomed to the prison. You hear the sounds of penetralia. But hello, darkness, my old friend. But actually, you're laughing too hard, man. You got that Blagojevich laugh. Okay, but actually, penetralia is a set of instruments that is used to measure the penetrating power of electromagnetic. Magnetic radiation that's been put into the ground. Like when there's an accident and there's like gamma radiation, they want to measure how far it has gone into the ground, so they pull out the penetralia so they can measure the gamma radiation. You guys like the prison thing better, didn't you? Okay. That's it, though. That's what it is. It's the set of instruments used to, measure how far the radiation has gone into the ground. The penetralia. It's better than a dog hiding in the back of the room.
It was a ferret.
Whatever pet you have. Yeah, Eric, and Eric.
Ian.
Right. Penetralia. Still the same word. Okay. Anyone here from England by any chance? 2 of you. Not one over there. Random. Are you with the people over there or? No. All right. So just a few of you from England. All right, well, great. Well, welcome. Anyway, whereabouts are you from? Oh, Dorset and Manchester. Oh, right. Very nice too. I'm from a place called Cambridge. You've probably heard of it. It's just been voted the healthiest town in the whole of England. How's that? In fact, just the other day they had to shoot a man to start a graveyard. Pretty good, isn't it? But anyway. Amazing. No, but anyway, penetralia. But no, the reason I ask, because I wonder whether there was anyone here from like Wales or something like that, with the valleys and the little villages all scattered around. In England, we got all these little hamlets all over the place, you know, and everyone knows everyone in these little villages and that. And there's this particular one where this lady, she feels a need to pop down to the butcher's, you know, get some meat for the weekend. So there she goes. She gets on her bicycle and off she goes with the basket and goes down to the butcher's shop and walks into the butcher's shop. There's only a few people live in this little village, you know. Everyone knows everyone. And anyway, so she walks into the butcher's shop and she says to the butcher, "Good morning." And he says, "Good morning." And she says, "Could I have some Northumberland duckling, please?" He says, "Certainly, madam." So he goes, they're all very polite and that. Well, that time of the morning, anyway. And then he goes in the back and he brings out this duckling and he puts it on the counter and she says, "Thank you, sir." And she says, "I'll just test it." And she lifts up the foil and she gets her finger and she sticks her finger into the duck's, you know, what's name? Rectum. So she puts her finger in the duck and has a bit of a poke around, and she says, "I'm sorry, I'm going to have to give this back to you. That doesn't seem to be Northumberland duckling. That's Aylesbury duckling." He says, "Madam, I'm ever so sorry." So anyway, he says, "I'll go and get you." So he goes in the back again. He's like, Northumberland. Gets another one. He comes to the counter, puts it on. She says, "You know the drill." She picks up unpeels the thing, gets her finger, sticks it up there, sticks it up the rectum of said duck, has a little poke around, little swill, pulls them out again, and she says,
sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
You're okay, it's gone 11, it's all right, sorry. And anyway...
I'm sorry.
So anyway, she says, "Look, I'm sorry, that is not Northumberland duckling, that is Humberside duckling." He says, "Madam, I'm sorry, there must be a mix-up. We did a stock take very early this morning, and we'd all been to the pub the night before, and we did this stock take, and things have got a bit muddled up in the back. I will get one for you." And she says to him, she says, "Well, I've not seen you around here before." She says to him, she says, where are you from?" And he says, "Well, why don't you tell me?"
Very well done. Very well done. Very well done.
Okay. What was the word again,
What
Judy?
does any of this have to do with...
Penetralia.
Yeah.
No idea. Okay, the penetralia is the outer ring of the duck's rectum. The bit you don't touch. No.
There you go. All right, 3 definitions, I think. That story was so long, I don't really remember what anyone else said. So can we go through it one more time? Drew? Not your story, your definition of penetralia.
Yeah, it's the innermost part of a building, not any windows. It's the inside area of a structure.
Lewis?
It's a set of instruments used for measuring gamma radiation and see how far it's gotten into the local soil.
And Ian?
It's... Careful how you bend over there. It's the outer ring of the... Where are you from, anyway? It's the outer ring of the duck's rectum.
You're not getting a birthday present.
It's pretty good on the whole, isn't it? Yeah.
All right,
I want to
I am trying to host a show here. All right. No more martinis for you. Okay, here we go. So, 3 definitions. Give you a couple seconds. Talk amongst your teams, everybody. Pick who you're going to go with. Okay, our scorekeeper says that she's ready this time. She's all right. Angie over there in the corner. All right, Drew, the innermost part of a building. Hold up your numbers. 30, 1, 29, 19, 18, 26, 25, 2, 16 upside down, 15, 20, 21, 5, 27, 6, 10, 11, 13, 8, and the hand.
The hat? All right. Oh, that guy.
Hold, please. Did she, did,
We're going fast. I want to make sure. Did you get them all?
No, she hasn't done that yet.
Okay.
we're good. We are trained professionals for writing down numbers. Okay. Number 2, an instrument used to measure gamma rays.
Gamma radiation.
Gamma radiation.
In the soil.
Who believes Lewis? 7, 28, 9, 12, 14, 4, 3, 23. All right, and finally, Ian, a part of a duck.
He gives 1 sympathy vote. 2, 3.
24, 17. Did you vote twice? No, 17. Anybody else? I think we got everybody. 22, sorry. And 22. Andrew, you got it? All right, perfect. Would the person who is telling the truth please stand up? The word is penetralia. We wouldn't let you down. The innermost part of a building, especially a church or temple. Penetralia.
For your ferret.
It's really not what it sounds like. Okay.
Thank you for getting it right this time.
All right, here we go. Next word, next word. The word is numbles. Numbles. I like saying that one better. Numbles. Who's first? I'm going to say that Ian is going to go first on this one, just because he picked up his drink first.
All right. I feel like I've only just been, you know. Anyway, numbles. Numbles. Okay, numbles, right. In fact, a true story, actually, if I may share this. If I may share this with you. A true story about a gentleman who... And his duck. Yeah, and his duck. Who... That's Eric's pet, that's right. Okay, true story.
Eric, wait a second. What's happening here?
True story about a gentleman who, over the course of 20 years, had been getting pretty bad headaches just about every morning, you know, and it had prevented him from going to work. Well, cool, blimey, what's happening? Oh, it's my birthday. There you go, that's right, yes. Is it yet? No, we've got another hour. But anyway, it's going to be an ugly night. Okay. Or morning, rather. Do I have much in the morning, Drew? Anything on my schedule?
No,
I'll have another one as well then. Right, anyway.
So we are having a drill.
Oh, lovely, yeah. I'm out of that, by the way. Anyway, 20 years of headaches. 20 years of headaches he's been having, and he's a bit, he's a bit worried. He's not been able to go to work. He's been getting jobs and losing them, rather quick. Things aren't good in his life, so he decides, right, all these headaches I'm getting, I'm going to go and see the doctor and get it sorted out. So he goes to the doctor. Am I allowed to say testicles, Drew, at this time of the evening?
It's a little late now, isn't
It's
it?
10 past 11. Is that all right, ladies and gentlemen, if I say testicles? Oh, thank you very much. You're very mature.
You can say it 3 times.
Okay, right. Okay. Anyway, so it's very, very relevant to the joke. True story, rather. Anyway, whoops. Anyway, no, but anyway, so headaches, and so he goes to the doctor. He says, "Doctor, can't cope with it anymore. Doctor, let's get him on the table." And examines him and says, "Look, sir, I've got to tell you that we got a bit of a do going on here, and over the past 20 years, what's been happening is your testicles have been pushing against the base of your spine, creating pressure on your brain, and giving you these headaches." And he says, "Well, what can we do?" He says, well, you've got two choices. One, you can just live with it, or the other thing is we can put you under the knife and chop your, chop them off, as it were. He says, can I think about it? He says, yeah, think about it. So he says, right, okay, I'm going to go for the chopping them off. He says, right, okay, well, we can do that in the morning. So anyway, he goes back in the morning, goes under the knife, and now he's not there anymore. Like riding a horse with no horse there, you see. But anyway, so he's not got his testicles anymore. So he thinks, well, he says to himself, the only way I can get over this is go and try and make myself feel a little more manly. And he thinks, I'll go and buy myself a new suit. So he goes down the road and he sees a tailor's shop. He walks into the tailor's shop. He says to the tailor, I'd like to buy a new suit. The tailor says, certainly, sir, let me have a look at you. He says, you're about a 34 inside leg. He said, yes, I am. He said, how do you know that? The tailor says, I've been in the business for 40 years, sir. He says, oh, so he tries the pants on. He says, oh, they're very nice. He says, what about a jacket for sir? He says, yes. He says, now let me look, 44 chest. He says, absolutely. He says, how do you know? He says, 40 years I've been in the business, sir. He says, now what would sir like a new shirt? He says, what a great idea. Yes, why not? I'll go for it. Yes, I'll have a new shirt. He says, let me have a look. About a 16.5 collar. He says, how do you... He's 40 years in the business. He says, now what about some underwear for sir? Some nice briefs. He says, now let me have a look at you. Now let's see. Yes, you're a 34. He says, no. He says, I'm not a 34. He says, sir, 40 years I've been in the business. You're a 34. He says, no. I'm a 32. He says, I've been wearing 32 for 20 years. He says, sir, you are a 34, let me tell you. He says, if you were to wear a 32, what would happen is your testicles would push up against the base of your spine and give you headaches.
Yes.
So let me have a look at you, Ian.
I only wear the large, old boy.
I go for the extra large.
Yeah. I wear very large underwear and suspenders, Yeah. Braces for the English people, not suspenders. Anyway, what was it? Okay, Pisonia.
No, Numbles.
Numbles. Numbles. No, shit. Okay, I've got another one for you. No, that was Numbles. That was Numbles.
Numbles.
Yeah, don't worry about it. No,
I'm not worried.
Numbles is the fear of wearing tight pants. It's true. It really is. It's true.
Okay, well, 32 minutes later. Okay. If I was joking, I would say that Numbles is what you get when you roll around in bed with a woman for too long and you don't go all the way. Some people call them blue balls. But in my neighborhood, we call them the Numbles.
What neighborhood is that exactly?
The same one where Eric walks in all the time. But actually, Numbles...
You don't know what that means.
I don't know either. We're like past the point of no return right now. Numbles is actually the frilly part of an embroidered felt rug that is made in Southwest Asia. This is for real. It's an embroidered rug that's made in Southwest Asia. The rugs are called Numda, but the little frilly parts on the end are called Numbles.
All right, Andrew.
My turn. Okay. Numbles, I have a pet bear named Eric. And he's a good bear. And so I was very upset and I believe Eric was as well. When I heard this, read an article in the paper, or saw it on the internet, or heard it on the news or something. I don't really remember. But anyway, there was this guy who decided he wanted to go actually bear hunting, which I'm pretty sure bears are protected, or they should be anyway. You can't just go bear hunting, right? Am I right? You can't go bear. Anyway, this guy I guess he wanted to get on the cover of Hunting USA or magazine or something. Like he wanted to get something, because he hunted deer and like pheasant. Anyway, so he goes in the woods, looks for this bear. He wants a grizzly bear, like a really big one. Eric is not a grizzly bear; he's a brown bear. But anyway. I digress. He goes into the woods in a known grizzly bear, region in the forest, and he finds a big rock. He sits and hides behind the rock, and he waits for a bear to come along. And it took a couple hours, but a big, mean-looking grizzly came along. So he lines up the gun, pulls the trigger, boom, big sound. Bear drops out of sight. Hunter looked around. He was all confident. Walks over to the clearing where the bear was. Bear's not there. Just then he gets a tap on his shoulder. It's the bear. Bear looked at the hunter and said, "You just tried to kill me." It was a talking bear. You gotta bear with me on that. "Here in Big John, I'll give you two choices. You can try to run, but I'm a bear. I'm faster than you. You run, I'll catch you, rip you apart. Or you go back to my cave and fool around." The hunter looked up at the bear, thought he wanted to save his own life, so he went back to the cave. Okay, he comes out of the cave, he's feeling pretty upset, kind of violated. He thinks he's going to get back at his bear. Last thing he does, he goes to the Army surplus store, buys himself a brand new laser sight, armor-piercing, semi-automatic assault rifle. Goes back to the woods, should be overkill, right, for this poor bear. Goes back to the woods, hides behind the rock. A couple minutes later, the bear comes along again, lines it up, the laser's pointed right between his eyes, pulls the trigger, boom, powerful gun, kicks him back like 10 feet, gets up, dusts himself off, walks over to the clearing. The bear is not there. Gets a tap on his shoulder. It's the bear. Bear says, "I can't believe it, you just did it again." "Well, same two choices. You could run, but if you do, I'll catch you, rip you apart. Or, second choice, go back to my cave and fool around again."
For some penetralia. I couldn't help it, I'm sorry.
I'm surprised you didn't jump in the first time around, actually. So the hunter comes out of the cave. This time he's really mad. Goes back to the army store, buys a bazooka. Goes back to the woods, hides behind the rock. The bear comes along, pulls the trigger, boom, powerful explosion. There's debris, dust, rocks, tree bits falling everywhere. Finally, the smoke clears. The bear is not there. Hunter gets a tap on his shoulder. It's the bear. Bear says, "You don't really come up here for the hunting, do you?"
You come up here for the innermost sanctum of my cave.
You love the penetralia stuff, don't you? You just love the...
I'm a late night comic. That's hilarious to me.
Anyway, this does relate to the definition of the word, although I must confess I took a slightly humorous roundabout way to get there. But Numbles is actually, the hunter ended up, stranded in the woods, let's say. And the only way he could survive was living off the numbles of animals that had died in the forest. Numbles are the entrails of various forest creatures, bear, deer, oxen, I suppose. They're also known as the umbles, by the way. It depends if it's cold, then they're the numbles. If it's not cold, then they're just umbles, but they're... I'm going to stop talking now.
All right. Three definitions. Let's hear them one more time. Ian, are you ready? When I start with you, it throws you off a little bit. Yes, definition one more time. Ian.
All right, fear of wearing tight pants.
Number two.
It's the frilly part of an embroidered felt rug that's made in Southwest Asia.
And number three.
Okay, this is Hunter. He's looking for grizzly bears. He goes into the mountains. It's the numbles, or umbles if it's not cold, are the innards of various forest creatures.
All right, talk amongst your teams. Which definition do you choose? We got a couple teams that have perfect scores. This is very important for the Winnebago. And Rice-A-Roni. fourth definition, no.
Just so you can.
All right, here we go. So, which team votes for Ian? Numbles, a fear of wearing tight pants. Tight pants.
Oh, that is cold-blooded.
Very convincing.
They love the funny joke, but they don't.
Here you go. Number 2. Aren't your parents on board?
They are actually, but that's not them.
All right. Lewis, the frilly end bits of a rug. 7, 28, 8, 9, 22, the hand. 6, 13, 10, 11, 12, 14, 5, 21, 15, 24, 17, 16, 3, 1, 25, 19, 24, 30, 29, 23.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
New job, I'm telling you.
Right.
Art auctioneer, next contract. And finally, number 3, Drew, the entrails. Number 3, definition number 3. The entrails of wildlife in the forest. 27, 18, 26.
Thank you, 3.
All right, here we go. Everybody's in? All right. Numbles with the person who told the truth. Please stand up. They still don't believe you.
Also humbles, you see? Also humbles.
There you have it. Numbles. All right. All right, here we go. We got another word coming up.
Last word. Last word. Last word.
These are the smart people leaving right now.
I can't wait to hear Jody say this word. Everybody be real quiet. Let's hear Jody say the word. Let's do, Jody, what is the word? Come on, put your mouth around it and say it.
The word is oxpecker.
Yes, it is, baby. Yes, it is.
Oxpecker.
It sounded better than when we say it.
Blush. Oxpecker. Lewis, now you have to go first.
I have to go first? Okay. Okay, well, if I was joking, I say that oxpecker, this was the worst summer job I ever had in my life. It was so humiliating. None of those livestock ever call me or send letters or text messages or email. And I thought we really had something special. But actually, I'm from Colorado, and as you know, the National Western Stock Show is there this week, and they hired teens from around the region to come in.
Hang on a second, let me stop you there. How many people actually know that the National Stock Show is there?
See, so there. And because it's always there when it's cold. And what they hired teams from around the region because they have a problem getting the livestock in and out of the trailers. So they give them big sticks, and this is a slang term they use because they have to poke them to get them in and out. So they call them oxpeckers. And it's a slang term that's used in the National Western Stock Show. The teens are the oxpeckers. And the oxen, their name is Eric. And we know where they're from.
Okay, so me then?
Yes, you're up.
Okay.
Same word every time.
Can you say it one more time?
Oxpecker.
That was my nickname in high school, actually. But that's a long story. I'm not going to get into it now. No. Thank you, the four of you who got that last bit. Anyway, I'm going to tell you exactly what this means. I have a pet bird named. No. That's the dog, the cat, the ferret, and the bear. Thank you. Derek actually is his name. Can't call all my pets Eric. That's ridiculous. Anyway, he's a great bird. He's got this like a V-shaped bone here and everything. He's awesome. Fur. He's got a little fur going on here. It's from Northumberland or Aylesbury, one of those places. Anyway,
have you tested him?
Yeah. So one day I could tell he wasn't feeling very well. And let me just back up and tell you the backstory. I do we have any bird lovers here? Bird pet owners? No? It's good to let birds out of their cage every now and then. Let them fly around. It's good for them. It's getting exercise. You shouldn't clip their wings. You should let them fly sometimes. Anyway, so I do that with them. But one day I was devastated. I actually forgot that I'd let him out, and I went outside to check the mail. So because it's important to keep all the windows closed when your bird's flying around. I opened the door. Derek was very close. Eric was there watching with me, but anyway, Derek was very close to the door, and he flew out, and I was so upset. I thought I lost him. I thought he'd just flown away, because what birds are going to come back? But like 3 hours later, I'm doing the dishes in the kitchen, and here comes Derek. He flew up to the window, pecked it. I opened the window, and he flew in. I couldn't believe it. He was like, I guess he's like part homing pigeon or something. I don't know, but he knew where to find me, so I started letting him out of that, because actually he kind of makes a mess when I let him fly around in the house. So I started letting him out of the house regularly. He got his exercise, he would come back. Anyway, this went on for a while. One day I could tell he was sick. Wasn't feeling well. I took him to the regular vet. And I guess I got a little carried away with how much unsupervised time I was allowing him to have, because, you try to raise them right, you try to do right by your pets. But ultimately, they choose their own friends. I guess he got in with a bad flock, hanging out like on the other side of the hedge. I don't know, but he'd actually come down with a pretty nasty case of terpes, which it's
Terpes?
It's a canarial disease, which I didn't realize, but this is what can happen when you flock around. This is what I'm trying. This is the message. The message I'm giving to the bird owners in the room. Anyway, it turns out it's tweetable, so he's fine. But the point is, too far? That was one too many, wasn't it?
No, keep going.
The point is, he is an oxpecker, and it's not that unusual. Think about it. I don't know why no one's heard of this word. Everybody's heard of a woodpecker. A woodpecker is a bird that, what? Pecks wood. An oxpecker, similarly, is a bird that pecks was it plural? Oxi? Ox is oxen. Everybody knows that. Okay, oxen.
Yeah, I already went, man. It's on you now. I think we're in St. Martin right now.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, I think I've missed my birthday, actually.
It sort of feels like we're in Aruba, actually.
Yes. Whose go is it?
You're up.
Oh, already? All right.
Same order every time.
All right, I got a true story. This isn't a joke. This is a true story. I promise you this. And
You have a doubter.
Was that a laugh or a yawn? I couldn't tell.
No, really, true story. Right, okay, so England. So, yes, very nice. So years ago, I used to work for, being a musician, I used to work for a company that, and I'm pretty good at making things as well. Yes, I am. And, but anyways, I used to make things. I used to build church organs and make church organs, and I used to tune the organs. I did, really. My mum and dad are here. Did I or did I not? That's right, there we go, I did. The check's in the mail.
They don't vote for
Anyway, no, but I did, really. I used to travel around, me and a friend, and we'd tune to these places far and wide, all over the country, all over England, and we used to tune church organs. Now, we used to travel around in this little van, we didn't need to take much stuff or anything. Maybe we replaced the odd pipe, you know, that had gone bad or something. And we travel around in our little van, me and my mate, travelling all around the country in all sorts of weather. Now, an oxpecker is a tuning rod that you use. It's made out of the bones of an ox, and it's a tuning rod that you use when you get into the organ and you're tapping the pipes and tuning the thing, and you've got one guy down there pressing the keys on the keyboard, you know. True story. And, I mean, really, it is. I see a few of you going, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, no, but seriously. And anyway, so we'd be travelling around. Now, don't forget, this is an old business. I mean, this has been around for hundreds of years, you know, church organs and that. 300 or 400 years, maybe even 1,000, whatever. Anyway, and the oxpecker is the traditional name for the tool that's used for tapping the. In fact, the company that I used to work for was a company called Johnson and Son. Funnily enough, your name's Johnson, isn't it? That's right. Anything to do with my company that I used to work with? No. All right. But anyway, Johnson the Organ Builders. Johnson's Organ Builders. So we'd be travelling around. And this oxpecker tool that we used to use, because it's like years old, you know, you abbreviate things, don't you? So what they'd done was they dropped the ox and just called it a pecker. Serious. So we'd be driving around the countryside. We'd take it in turns to drive, you know. He's got his pecker, you know. I've got mine. You need one each, because one's got a tune and one's got to be up inside the organ. Seriously. This is a true story. And we'd be travelling around, you know, and I can't drive with my pecker in my hand, because if the police pull me over or something, you know, you can't be having something, you know, it's a distraction, isn't it? So what we do is I'd be driving along, I'd give him my pecker to hold, so he'd hold my pecker. And anyway, so we'd be driving along, and after a while, obviously, I'm getting a bit tired, you know. And so, a little tired, so we pull over. And we change round. So, you know, so I'd hold his pecker this time.
It is so important to all of our future that you stop talking very soon.
What? All right. Anyway, don't forget, I play the trumpet. I'm a bit deaf. Anyway, so perhaps I should turn it around the other way, shouldn't I? Anyway, but anyway, cut a long story short. So we'd be driving around. We'd arrive at the church, or the cathedral, or whatever it may be. It's pretty cold in these places, don't forget. So we get in there, and the beauty about the pecker is because it's made out of the bones of an ox, is you can go from a cold place into a hot place, or vice versa. You can go from a warm place into a cold place, and your pecker will not change size. It will maintain its length, and that is the beauty of it. It really is. And you can stick that pecker right in the organ. You can get it right in there, and you can even tap away at those pipes that may seem far away to some people, but not you. And seriously, you know, it's all about getting the job done, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what we did.
All I know is that I want to drive with Jody from now on. If I have my pecker in the car, because I want her holding it. That is hilarious.
No cars on a cruise ship.
But that's a true story. And I mean, I'm reformed now, but yeah, it's a true story. No, and seriously, so an oxpecker is the tuning rod for a church organ. It's made out of the bones of an ox. And it's very good. Thank you. Get one.
I don't want to go near the table anymore.
I'm almost positive that we're all fired.
I was only by the pole.
You two are. I'm still here. I'm the late night comic. I'll have my pecker on stage. Okay. I named my pecker Eric.
Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson. Oh, we got to do this next week. That's fun as hell. I'm having a good time. Okay, so you ready, Jody?
Now.
Just say the word one more time, Jody.
All right, let's go through the definitions one more time so they're clear in your head.
What's the word?
The word is oxpecker.
Okay, it's a slang term used in the stock shows for a teenager who has a stick that helps to get the livestock in and off and on the trailers. He has to poke them to get, so he, yeah.
True.
I just really feel like I need a shower. I don't feel good about this at all. It's a bird that eats, pecks stuff off of oxen and stuff.
And Ian?
A tuning rod for church organs.
A tuning rod. A tuning rod. All right.
And if you have an organ that needs to be tuned, and you want to see me in room number...
All right, confer with your teams. Drew, Lewis, or Ian. Nobody's conferring. All right. Numbers in the air. If you believe Lewis, it's something that pokes livestock in a stock.
It's a teenager hired to...
There you go.
Poked.
It has to be a teenager. 27, 20, 16, 24. Don't be a joke. Okay. You got it? Scorekeeper? You're good over there. All right. Next up was Drew, a bird that pecks things off oxen. 8, 22,
It could be. Come on.
30, 21 and 12. Palindromic. Ooh. 19. All right, and finally, Ian, a tuning rod. A tuning rod. 23, 1, 3, 2, 25, 26, 18, 29, 17, 15, 14, 4, 5. Your parents still didn't vote for you. 10, 11, 13, 6, 28, 9. The hand, 7.
What is that time?
Is that everybody? All right, the word is oxpecker. With the person who is telling the truth, please stand up. Most importantly, that we have a tie. Maybe we should do 3 more words. I'm kidding. All right, we've got 4 winning teams this evening. 4 winning teams. These 4 teams need to come on up and see me here on stage. Team numbers with a score of 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5? 3. 3 out of 5, I believe, is the winning score. 3 out of 5 is the winning score. Team 10, 18, 26, and 30. Where are you, all 4 teams? Come on up here. Andrea's at that door. She's going to collect your numbers on the way out. Thanks so much for joining us for Lions Club, everybody.